Let's learn to swing. Swing is probably the best lower body exercise that you can possibly do. It burns fat, it builds power, it tones the glutes and the hamstrings, it keeps the lower back healthy. I don't have enough good stuff to say about it. However, most people when they're starting out to learn to swing, yourself included, butcher it. So let's learn how to not do that. What I'm about to show you is both a warm-up to swing, and if you've never done a kettlebell swing in your life, a progression. Now what's a progression? It means the exercises that you have to master before you can swing. The first one is known as the sumo style deadlift. What's a sumo style deadlift? Well, a deadlift is where you pick up a weight from the floor, usually. Sumo style is just where the weight's inside the legs, or excuse me, the arms are inside the legs as opposed to outside. That's it. That's what makes it sumo style. Now here's the thing. A lot of people, when they try and do a sumo style, is they squat it up. Look at how I break the hip. Okay, I'm basically in a squat position here. This is a deadlift. What's the difference? Look at the vertical shin angle here. You see that? That is a deadlift. If I'm picking it up like this, I'm deadlifting the weight up. And when I'm swinging, that's exactly what I'm doing. What a lot of people do is they squat the weight up. They do something, something like that, which I used to do. I don't even know how to do it anymore. So again, what does that look like? What's the wrong way look like? Look, no vertical shin. It's a squat. How do we not do that? How do you unlearn that? You use one of these. Now, I'm going to show you something about how thin that is. You're going to step on this. You're going to put your toes on this. Now watch what happens. Get it right in front of the kettlebell. So you see, kettlebell here, the rod here. Now you can use a step. You use anything. It's about an inch in length. You find what's right for you. You're going to get your toes up on it. You're going to get you can have them slightly externally rotated, and I'll show you another view. Now try and pick this weight up. Here's the trick. First, tuck the chin. Don't slouch like this. Tuck the chin. Try and pick this weight up. You cannot squat this weight up. I mean, go ahead and try. It's not going to happen. Your knees, they just can't fall forward. We've taken up the slack. You have to deadlift this weight up now. Do 5 reps of that. This is your first progression. So, when you're learning to swing, do a sumo style deadlift with your heels elevated on something. Now, the caveat to this is, of course, notice that my lower back is never rounded. If you don't even know what that means, here's an exercise to show you that. With a rod again. What I've done here is I've got one hand at the small of my back, the other hand between my neck and my upper back, and I've got the rod, the dowel, touching my upper back, my middle back, and my lower back. And I'm going to hip hinge, which means I'm going to bend back with the hips, not letting the rod break contact. If you need to do this before your sumo style deadlift for 8 to 10 reps, you do that. Now what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get as far back as I can, pushing my hips back, without letting the rod break contact. You do that, you memorize this sensation of what it feels like to use your hips to go backward as opposed to your lower back, and you're going to be a much better deadlifter, which is going to make you a much better swinger. And you do that, then repeat this little drill again. Okay? Now, you have that kinesthetic understanding of what it means to push back with the hips, with the lower back arched and not rounded. That exercise, that dowel hip hinge, just taught you that. Keep that sensation. Now get your feet back up there. Tuck that chin and do the same thing. Vertical shins. 8 to 10 reps on this one. You do 8 to 10 reps with the hip hinge, the dowel hip hinge. Now you're going to do it like this. Now here's the thing. If you can do this, your body knows how to swing. It really does. So what's next? I'm going to do one more exercise before we actually start to swing, and that's going to be the goblet squat. This time we really are doing a squat. Pick up the kettlebell. You're holding it upside down. Squat. And you have to do this after you do the other two. Hip hinge with the dowel. Do your kettlebell sumo deadlifts with the dowel. Then do a few of these. Once you've gotten that down, you're ready to do phase one swinging, which is with a towel. What we're going to be doing here is making the swing harder. Yes, when you're a beginner, that's what we do. By introducing an extra degree of freedom, using a towel, you can teach yourself to swing better than me using 1,000 more words to try and correct your form. So you see, I've introduced an extra degree of freedom. So now it's going from my shoulders, which are just hooks, to my hands, through the towel, that's the extra degree of freedom, to the kettlebell. And with this, I have to swing, and the challenge is a straight line. See? Relatively straight line, arms, towel, kettlebell at top. You do this, that's not a straight line. That's a straight line. Now, what does this mean? This means that more or less, Aaron is using his hips, not his lower back. He's using his hips. And I'll pause at the bottom. Look at that! Vertical shins. I have vertical shins. That means I'm using my hips. I'm not squatting this up. I'm not using some sort of rounded lower back motion to get this up. I'm actually using the right muscles to get this guy through the air. Once you can do towel swings, just as a warm-up, 10 to 20 reps, you're ready for the two-handed swing. It's the exact same thing, except now, vertical shins, arched lower back, pushing through the heel. You're going to feel your abs at the top, because at the very bottom you make a slight squeeze. Almost like you're pushing through your pelvis, pushing air through your pelvis at the bottom. And that's preventing this overextension. So way down here, you're actually taking a breath. And you're swinging up. You're letting it go. Pressing your tongue through your teeth. And what that's doing is it's preventing hyperextension of the lumbar spine at the top. That's why it looks right up here. It's because you're doing that. See, when you're swinging, you're taking a breath on the way down, and you're going to feel it. You're going to hold it right here. Push through your hips. And that is how you swing. So let's review. Dowel hip hinges. Do 8 to 10 of them. Immediately, place it on the floor. Dowel kettlebell sumo deadlifts. 8 to 10 of them. Get rid of that dowel. Goblet squats with the kettlebell. 8 to 10 of them. Grab your towel. Start swinging. When you can consistently swing so that it's shoulder to arm, towel, then kettlebell, straight line, you now know how to kettlebell swing. You're using your butt, you're using your hamstrings. From there on out, you're a swinger.